Yes, guys. So we are continuing with question number 7. Okay. Now in question number 7, there is a case that what is a sphere and find its later surface. Okay, find its surface area and the volume. There are two things only in a sphere. There are two things, which are those surface area and volume. Okay. Then second question, eighth question is what is a hemisphere? Because hemisphere is half of the sphere, so it is known as hemi, demi, and semi. So okay, semi-final like that. So that means half of the hemi means half of the sphere. These two questions are just related to each other. So I'll take them one by one. And what is surface area of cross surface area, total surface area of a hemisphere? There are three things in case of a hemisphere, but in case of a sphere, there are only two things: surface area and volume. So let me talk about what is the surface area, volume of a sphere. What is a sphere first of all? Okay, so a sphere is a. Let me take question number 7. Where question number 7 says that there is a sphere. Sphere is just like a ball, or if I take example of solid figure, a solid sphere, then it may be just like an orange. Orange is a proper type of that. Orange means very spherical one. Okay, that spherical one means there is a center of it. From the center of the sphere, every point lying on the surface of the sphere will be equidistant. The definition of a sphere is this: that any point lying on the surface of a sphere is equidistant from the center of the sphere. Because from the center of the sphere, suppose O is a sphere, here it is one A point, this is B point, this is C point, but they are lying on the surface, just like a football, volleyball. Okay, so football, in case of a football or a volleyball, like okay, so there is any point lying on the surface of that, then that will be equidistant from the center of the sphere. So a sphere is when a circle is semicircle, when a semicircle is revolved around its diameter. Okay, this semicircle is revolved around its diameter, the axis. Okay, then we get a form of a sphere. So a sphere is when we revolve a semicircle around its diameter, then we will get a sphere type. Okay, so just like a ball, football, volleyball, or any a cricket ball, that is a solid hemisphere. Solid sphere. So solid sphere or orange, okay, is a solid sphere, but ball is a football or volleyball is a hollow hemisphere or empty sphere. Hemisphere. I'm just calling again and again. I'm sorry. So this is a sphere. So football or volleyball is a empty sphere, example of empty sphere. Okay, so and this is okay, so how it is obtained? If I revolve a semicircle around its diameter, you will get a sphere. Okay, definition, let me take sphere. We are talking about a sphere. It's surface area. There is only one area, surface area, and its volume. Its surface area and volume. There are two things only. Volume. The volume is what is the total quantity which can come in a sphere. Okay, so that is the total volume of this. What is total volume? There are very simple formulae for this. What the first formula? This is known as surface area. It may be total surface area, lateral surface, anything, surface area. Okay, so there is only one area which is of the total sphere, because it is not cut, or it is not inside, is not visible. So from the above, the surface area or lateral surface area or curved surface area, whatever it is called, or the total surface area, everything is one single. This surface area, which is given by 4 into pi into r square. If I take, let me take radius is capital R. So this is pi r square. This is radius R. This is radius R from this point O to, let me take A. This is B point, and this is radius R also. So this R, this is suppose B dash, this is B. B to B dash, B I have taken there, or B, C point I have taken, let me take P, Q point. This is P and this is Q point. Okay, so this is a sphere on which, the surface is given, surface area. This is the formula for surface area of a sphere, and this is a square unit, because the unit of area is always a square unit, because there is a multiplication of two lengths, R into R, length into length. Whatever the length is measured in, maybe in centimeters or whatever unit is there, that is multiplied twice. This is square of that. Meter square, centimeter square. So this is square unit. Okay. Second point is volume. What is volume of a sphere? Now, volume of a sphere is these two formulae are to be remembered for always. This is pi into r cube, cubic unit. Okay, so square unit, this is surface area or total area or lateral surface area, total surface area, whatever area. This is only one formula for area. This is first equation. Let me take first equation. I'm talking about first and second. This is second equation. Second formula, first formula. These two formulae are used for finding the surface area and volume of a sphere. Okay, the first one is for surface area, second is volume. And this volume of a sphere, as it is said, that every heavenly body is in the shape of a sphere. Why? Because a sphere, a spherical volume or spherical shape is the most solid one, most existable one, which can be existed for always, cannot be destroyed easily. Because of that, heavenly bodies have taken the shape of this. And this is more than 1, because 4 by 3 it is given. So always multiply by 4 by more than 1 multiplied. Otherwise, most of the volumes of other things are 1.3, 1.2, etc., etc. Volumes are less than 1. But here it is 4 by 3 is to be remembered. This 4 is common between surface area and volume. So 4 by 3, and this is 4 only. 4 pi r is square. This is 4 by 3 pi r cube. Volume is there, so this is r cube. Area is there, this is r square only. Multiplication of two lengths, r into r. This is r into r into r 3 times, because this is a volume. So in volume, cubic unit is cubic, means centimeter cube, meter cube, etc. So this is cubic unit. Right? These are the two things. And as I talked about definition, that if a semicircle is revolved around its diameter, we obtain a sphere. Second definition may be that if there is any point on the surface of a sphere, surface of any any surface, if it's any point lying on the surface of it, if it is equidistant from the center of the whole surface, then its form is a sphere. The sphere is definition that any point lying on the surface of a sphere is equidistant from its center. This can also be written here, definition. Any point lying on the surface of the sphere, on the surface, this can be the definition also, on the surface of a sphere is equidistant from its center. Okay, from its center it is equidistant. So this is the definition of a sphere. A sphere can be defined like this, or we can say that a semicircle is revolved around, or definition, let me write here. If a semicircle is revolved around its diameter, the solid obtained in this way is a sphere. In this way, or by this method, is a sphere. But in this way is a sphere. or is known as a sphere. So a semicircle like this, one is revolved around its diameter, then we will obtain a sphere, a spherical shape. That is a sphere. These are two definitions, maybe. Definition of the sphere, and we have taken this is sphere. Okay, sphere is just like a ball, football, volleyball, and the cricket ball is a solid sphere. Solid sphere. Similarly, orange is a solid sphere, and some of the apples which are just like a spherical, okay, or completely round figure or round figure, that is a sphere, it's spherical. Now let's take question number 8. What is a hemisphere? Let me talk about what is hemisphere. Now in case of a hemisphere, let me talk about hemisphere is just half of the sphere. Let me first define it, and then I'll talk about that what is the hemisphere. First let me define it. This is question number 8 now. Question number 8 says hemisphere. Hemisphere. Now hemisphere means what? Is hemi, here hemi, let me take some English word. Hemi means half. Semi means half. These words are prefixes used in English. So if I most of my classes of communication, business communication or English communication, in case of English communication or in communication, we talk about, I've taught a lot of, classes for number of years, about 30 to 35 years I've taken classes for English, for IELTS, TOEFL, all kinds of competitive examinations. I've taught English for them. Okay, so I know that what is prefixes, suffixes, roots, and all these letters, which are mostly the main building blocks for the words. Okay, words are, we know that words are most powerful. With the help of words, we can clarify any doubts of others. Okay, or words are just they illustrate everything, because words are very much required. Sometimes words are illogically presented, okay, logically presented, or they may prove something, they may disprove something. So that is the importance of words. Now in this case, hemi means half. Half of the hemisphere means half of the sphere. So half of the sphere, I'm just talking about half of sphere. Leave that other things, because I'll take communication English or English communicative English. There is one playlist of mine. There I'll discuss about what is the communication. Every word of that I'll talk about the basics of communication. Why communication is a must, and what are the basics of that. Grammar I've taught for a number of years for the competitive examination like GMAT. GMAT is there is critical reasoning as well as English. Okay, English grammar is there, because English is was coming for 400 marks and 400 marks for reasoning, and and that there in English there is a critical reasoning also. Critical reasoning also I've taught. So I'm just talking about that. What is hemi means? Hemi means half. This is prefix word. Prefix we add with sphere is the root word, and before that we add the prefix, and that it gives the meaning of others. Scientific words are mostly based on roots, prefix, and suffix. Scientific words, mathematical words, all these words are mostly framed with the help of prefixes, suffixes, and roots. Okay, so they are just clarifying. So this hemi here is taken in case of a sphere. Just to differentiate that, this is three-dimensional figure. Sphere is a three-dimensional figure. Sphere, okay, all we are talking about solid geometry. In solid geometry, there is three-dimensional figures. So sphere, hemisphere is also a three-dimensional figure. For three-dimensional figures, we have taken a separate word hemi. There is no logic in this case, but even then, we just differentiate that this is hemisphere used for three-dimensional figures, and semi is taken for two-dimensional other things too. That is a point here. Okay, so let me take. This may be one of the logics. Okay, so that let me talk about now. So hemi means half. Half sphere. So half sphere. Let me draw a half sphere. If a sphere is cut in between, we obtain just like a bowl. Okay, so this is a radius of this. Let me take this capital R. Radius. This is also R. This is O. Let me take A. This is B, and this is C point. Or we can take this as B point. No problem. This is B point here, capital R. This is hemisphere. Okay. Now in case of a hemisphere, we are having this radius only, radius. Now there are three formulae here. Now hemisphere, we can just say that whatever the definition of sphere was there, just cut that sphere in between or in the middle of this. The portion obtained is a hemisphere. Now it has the half surface area. Just whatever surface area of the sphere was there, just make half of that. That was 4 pi r square. It will be 2 pi r square. Simply this chord surface area of hemisphere. Now top is just hollow, is empty. So if top is not there or base of the hemisphere is not there, then the surface area is only this outer surface area or curved surface area. That is just half of the surface area of the sphere. So that one formula for hemisphere is, what is surface area? We write here surface area, or curved surface area we call it, curved surface area, or lateral surface area. Lateral surface or lateral surface area. Okay, lateral surface area. And this is just 2 pi r square. Square unit, because this is area, just half of whatever the surface area of sphere was there, just half of that. That was 4 pi r square. It is 2 pi r square divided by 4 pi r square divided by 2 is 2 pi r square. So this is square unit to pi. Value of pi is either 3.14 in decimals or 22/7 we take. This is value of pi. Okay, so this pi value we use mostly. Okay, so dividing 22 by 7, 3.14 is obtained, or it may be decimals further going on. Okay, now let me take, this is surface area, curved surface area. Now, but in case of a sphere, if it is solid hemisphere, in case of a solid hemisphere, in case of a sphere, it may be solid or maybe hollow, doesn't matter, because there is only one surface area, one total surface area or surface area in case of a sphere. But in case of a hemisphere, if I obtain, suppose solid hemisphere is there, then there is a base also. The area of the base, which is a circular form, if I cut an orange in between, let me cut the orange in between, so this surface area will also be there. The base will also have some solid figure. This is curved surface area and this is solid surface area. So top means this is square, the area of the square, area of the circle, not a square, area of the circle, which is circular form, not a square form, it is circular form. So area of the circle is further added in curved surface area, and curved surface area was lateral surface area of hemisphere was 2 pi r square. So in this, if I add pi r square, the area of the base, which is the circle, okay, so circular form is there, just like an orange is cut in between. The surface area means the base, area of the base is the area of the circle. So that area of the circle is also added up. So this is in case of a hollow hemisphere. Now second is solid hemisphere. Solid hemisphere will have, solid hemisphere, what it will have? Solid hemisphere will have surface area or total surface area in this case. In case of a solid hemisphere, total surface area, that will be equal to how much? 3 pi r square. Curved surface area, right here, curved surface area, this is the one, which is this one, plus area of the base, which is a circle. This is 2 pi r square plus pi r square. This is equal to 3 pi r square, square unit. This is what you call total surface area of a solid hemisphere. Try to understand. This is the second formula, which is different from that of the sphere. Sphere, while having only two formulas, surface area or total surface area, was simple one. Here in this case, there are two different cases. If it is hollow, then only curved surface area, which is 2 pi r square, just half of the half of the surface area of the sphere, 2 pi r square. This is called surface area, or area of the leather which is used for making a half ball, football or volleyball. Okay, so that is there, that surface area. But solid sphere, if it solid hemisphere is there, then the surface area of the base is also added up, which is a circle. Okay, by mistake I just called it as a square, but I'm sorry, that was due to mistake. But it is a circle. Circular is, I mean, a circular, so face is just being seen there. Okay, that area of the base is also added up, which is pi r square. If I add pi r square into pi r square, this will give us 3 pi r square. This is square unit total surface area of the solid hemisphere. This is one of the part. Now let me talk about what is the volume of this. Now in case of volume, okay, in case of volume of this third formula, well, the volume, now volume will be just equivalent to, I mean, just half of the volume which was the volume of sphere, just half of that. Why? Because the sphere is having total quantity whatever is taken inside the ball or football. Okay, that means the volume of the air, the quantity of the air or anything which is filled up inside this. Okay, that is the volume of the sphere. But just half of that, that whatever quantity of sphere was having with the same radius, okay, the same radius, if the hemisphere is there, I mean just half of that sphere will be obtained as hemisphere. That hemisphere will contain just half of the volume, half the quantity which the sphere was having. Total the volume of this third one, the volume of a hemisphere, volume of a hemisphere is the just half of volume of a hemisphere, just half of, or half of, let me write here, sphere, volume of the sphere. This is volume of the sphere. The volume of the sphere, half of that means 1.2 into 4 into pi r cube. This is r cube, cubic unit volume. So that means 2 into pi, sorry, this was 4 by 3, I'm sorry. Volume of the sphere was 4 by 3 pi r cube, I'm sorry. This is 4 by 3 pi r cube. And half of that is 2 by 3 pi r cube, cubic unit. Okay, cubic unit. That is the volume of a hemisphere. Now this volume of the hemisphere, okay, we have just talked about. Volume is the quantity which is being occupied by the hemisphere, or which will come inside the hemisphere. That is the total quantity of the hemisphere. Volume is 2 by 3 pi r